You're listening to the Creative Boom podcast with me, your host, Katie Cowan. Up next is Emma Reynolds, a freelance children's book illustrator and author based in Manchester. Her debut author-illustrator picture book, Amara and the Bats, is due for release in summer 2021 and hints at her passion for nature, animals and saving our planet. Speaking of which, Emma started the Kid Lit for Climate campaign, which brings together thousands of children's illustrators and authors from over 50 countries around the world to stand in solidarity with the youth climate strikes. On a cold and frosty morning in Manchester, I met Emma to find out more. I'm here at Cultureplex in Manchester with my next guest, Emma Reynolds.
Hello.
Hi, Emma. Hello. Well, we've known each other for quite some time. We've actually known each other since I moved to the city 10 years ago.
That's right.
And lots has changed since then. It's transformed, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think some of the old faces are still here, but there's lots of new blood and so many pop-ups and new exciting things happening all the time. It's great.
And things have changed a lot for you as well. You've really kind of grown in your career and you've kind of found your sort of, your focus, your passion, because when you and I first met, you were illustrating definitely, and you were kind of focusing on nature and but now you're kind of a children's book illustrator.
Yeah, I've sort of come back round. I sort of had a go at freelance illustrating straight out of uni while working part-time, which was really hard. And then I spent 6 years in the animation industry as a character designer, which was really good, and I learned so much. And now I'm finally doing children's books again, which is what I've wanted to do since I was like 5. So I'm really happy to be doing that.
Oh, that's fantastic. And not many people I meet know exactly what they wanted to be when they were 5 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I also wanted to be a marine biologist and an explorer and a poet, but...
I can imagine you doing all of those things.
Yeah, hopefully at the same time, maybe like an explorer illustrator's like the dream.
Yeah, absolutely. So where does that come from? What was your childhood like? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Devon. It was very kind of beautiful surroundings, lots to do in nature, and just loved being outside all the time. And when I wasn't outside, I would be drawing or playing with Lego, basically.
Yeah, that sounds about quite similar to my childhood, actually.
It's very kind of idyllic, kind of frolicking through the fields kind of childhood.
Yeah, and it was nice, wasn't it? We kind of were told to just make sure we got back in time before it was dark.
Yeah, pretty much.
Left to our own devices.
Yeah.
It's not really like that anymore, is it?
I have no idea. I don't live in a village anymore, but you'd have to ask someone who stayed in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have children myself, so I don't know how I'd feel about letting them go out and play. I mean, it's a bit different living in urban Manchester, I guess.
I think that's always the case. I mean, even in a tiny village, there's always the dodgier part. But even then, it's just on a micro scale. But yeah, it's completely different. So I don't know.
So what on earth brought you to Manchester?
So I came to Manchester in 2007 for uni and then fell in love with the city and stayed ever since.
What do you love about this place?
I remember saying when I first visited it was just a gut feeling, just the vibe. I know that's a word is overused, but it was just a feeling, and people are very friendly. And I just love the culture and the museums and the big libraries and everything's on your doorstep. I just fell in love with it, basically.
Yeah, a little bit different to rural living.
Yes, I couldn't wait to leave. Great as a child, not so great as a teenager living in the countryside for me. So yeah, I was desperate to be in a city with people from all over the world, basically.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the same as me.
Yeah.
Really. Just nice to be amongst so much culture and so many different kind of people and personalities.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is it about children's books that you love so much?
Oh, I've just always loved them. I still read them now, obviously, not just because I have to for my job, but just because I think they are the perfect combination of words and images. And I love graphic novels too and any kind of narrative storytelling. But I just was obsessed with Raymond Briggs as a child. And then as I grew up, I really was influenced by the work of Sean Tan and Isabel Arsenal and people like that. And it's just, I had a really good tutor in uni called Ian McCulloch, and he taught us how to do picture books. And doing that just felt like magic. It was just the process and the kind of puzzle solving aspect of, okay, if this sentence is here, what do I need to show in the image that isn't being said by the words? And it's the relationship between the two that kind of causes the reader to question what's really happening.
Did you grow up with a lot of books in your home?
Yeah, quite a lot. And we'd go to the library a lot as well. And I used to make little books. I made up these creatures, and they had this whole world, and I'd staple little books together and make them when I was like 5 or 6 or something, and I just carried on writing stories, and then eventually was typing them on the computer and stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you've actually got your first book being published this year?
This year, yeah. So the first book I've illustrated is written by an American chap called Emma Reynolds, which is hilarious. We have the same surname. Not related. # no relation.
Well, that was going to be another question.
No, I have never met the guy. But yeah, it's basically my agent, shortly after I signed with her, she got a message from the people at Simon & Schuster US, and Justin Chandler, the editor, said, you've signed Emma. We'd love her to illustrate this book. And I was like, yes, please. So Rescuing Mrs. Birdley comes out this June on the 30th and the 9th of July in the UK. So I'm really excited about that.
My goodness, that's like a dream come true.
It really is, yeah. It was a steep learning curve, and I learned so much doing my first book, and it was so much fun though.
What were the kind of key lessons that you...
I came after working in animation for 6 years, and just prior to this, I was working on a kids' TV show as a senior character designer, so it was quite intense. And normally you'd ask for feedback and you'd get it in about 5 minutes from your colleague on Slack. So I went from kind of, we need this yesterday, to like very long feedback waits, because publishing moves a lot slower because they've got so many different people, and that's just how they work. So I found that quite difficult because I'd send stuff off really quickly and they'd be like, oh, that was quick. And I'm like, is it? And then there'd be like a month gap between. So that was quite a challenge after working in such an intense industry before.
Yeah, because it kind of teaches you how to act fast and meet deadlines.
Yeah, so I was still doing that, but I was kind of like, huh, and then it would kind of break up the momentum. But you just have to, when you work in books, you just have to find other things to do in the meantime.
Yeah, and what have those things been? I mean, are you still sort of doing kind of client work, or has that
doing a bit of client work, but it's also kind of working on your next book and different story ideas, things like that.
Where do you get your ideas from?
The classic question.
Yes, the inspiration question.
Well, I tend to... I think it's just about living your life, honestly. I think if you just... stay in a very closed space and just look at other people's work, you will, because that's all you're looking at, you will just kind of produce a product of that, and it'll just be a mishmash of other people's styles, and it gets a bit insular. So obviously I look at other people's work, but I also think for me the main place I look for ideas is just out in the world and living life and going to see new things and kind of being in a headspace where I'm like open to ideas without like consciously being like, I need an idea. I just sort of let them happen.
And is there ever a moment when you're kind of, oh my goodness, I'm completely stuck. I just have no idea. Yeah. So we're all the same. This is a relief because I see all the work you do and I'm like, oh my goodness, she just must be a machine.
No. Everyone has bad days, and like it depends on a scale of like complete zombie to struggling a bit. Is if I'm feeling really, really bad and like I can barely get out of bed sort of thing, I'm like, right, I'm just burnt out and I needed to take a day. Yeah. And it's taken me almost all the 9 years of me freelancing to realise that it's more productive when you're feeling in that bad of a state to actually just take a day off rather than power through, because I'll do a bad day's work, I'll have to redo it, and I haven't relaxed. And it's taken me so long to realise that it's more efficient to take more breaks because I work better. Yeah,
I think when you're a creative, you can, because you're doing something you love for a living, you can fall into the trap of just constantly working.
Yeah, I think so. And sometimes that's good, like if you're feeling the momentum and you're like, yeah, I've got all ideas, and like that can be really good. And I do think there's a fine line between being too busy and not busy enough, because I think if you're not busy enough, sometimes you waste a lot of time. I know I do. And you kind of procrastinate. You think, I'll get up at 11, I'll just have a bit of lunch. And then it's like 2 o'clock and you're like, There's no point going to work today. But yeah, you need to have a balance between that and being like having to work all hours and all weekend, because that's not healthy either, having done both extremes.
When you don't have a boss, you've got nobody to force you to get out of bed in the morning.
There's no one to hold you accountable, so you just have to hold yourself accountable. And I think that's been one of the biggest challenges of freelancing in general is discipline for me. Do
you think you're hard on yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something I'm learning from chatting to quite a few people recently. There's a lot of people that beat themselves up and put a lot of pressure on themselves to be perfect. And I suppose we exist in a very competitive industry. So there is a lot of pressure. But I do wonder if a lot of that pressure is just something we impose on ourselves.
I think it's definitely self-imposed, but I also think it's partly necessary because you need to care about it that much to want to do this, because it's such a sacrifice, like financially, time-wise. Like it's a much more relaxing being in a wage job, having done both full-time and part-time. And like, I'm not saying people have a completely easy time, don't get me wrong, but not having to worry about when the next paycheck's coming in, and not having to worry if you have a bad day, you still get paid, you get holiday pay, etc. Like, it's easy to be really hard on yourself when you're a freelancer. And I think every artist I've ever spoken to is hard on themselves. I think that just comes with the job. Absolutely. And it's also the freelance fear, isn't it? Yeah, there's the freelance fear, and also just we have really high expectations because we want to be better. And I think it's good to want to be better, because otherwise you just stagnate and you don't feel the need to improve. So what does a good day look like to you? Good day is get up, do a bit of exercise in my room, have a shower, make a banana and oat milk and peanut butter smoothie. That sounds delicious. Yep. But potassium banana-ness keeps me going for a while. Especially in the winter months. Yeah, definitely. And then, good breakfast, feeling good in the morning, get dressed. I can't work in my pajamas or anything like that. I always have to get dressed. And go out to either to my studio or to a bookshop and sit in the cafe and reply to emails and then get on with my work. So you like to get all that kind of routine that gets you going. I like to have a routine. I've been trying to work on that a lot more this January and going forward, just because if you don't have a routine because you have a day job to go to, you really need to set one for yourself, because it's so easy to just slip out of it and just be like, oh, I'll just completely not do important things like exercise and things like that, because it's so easy to just completely throw your schedule out the window. Work 12 hours and then just forget to eat lunch. Yeah, like you have to have some sort of routine, I think, for me at least. Some days I do go off it and I think, oh, it's fine. If I'm still kind of working on a different idea, I'll throw the schedule out the window and be like furiously working on that. Like, this is amazing, but it's still productive, so I don't feel bad about it. Yeah, I kind of cope, I think, by giving myself one big job that I've been putting off, and I'll do that. And then that just gives me so much motivation to do other things. I just get that really kind of, positive push to carry on that day and do more. Yeah, I think it's good that's a good tactic to do the task you're dreading the most, because it's never as bad as you think when you actually start. Yeah. It's the starting that's hard. Like getting out the house is the hard part, and starting the day. Yeah, because I'm like anyone in danger of keeping my pajamas on, and then before I know it, it's 11 o'clock. I'll have probably said to myself, well, I'll get these things done for Creative Boom before 9 o'clock. I'll have some breakfast, then I'll go on my bike or, do some yoga in front of the telly, put my, go in the shower, go to the office. And then it's like, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm still in my pajamas. I'm really trying to be good this year. And I'm, touch wood, I've been kind of doing that. I've been getting into the routine. But it's really tough when you haven't got anybody telling you. It is tough because there's no one there to tell you off, basically. Yeah. And there's nothing more motivating than thinking you're going to be shouted at by your boss and to get you out the house and on time. But when you don't have that, it's like very easy to slip into a bad habit. But do you ever find yourself on public transport at, the usual times that people in jobs go on public transport and look around and think, gosh, I'm glad I don't have to do this every day? I'm glad I don't do a job that I hate anymore, which wasn't animation, but I did some pretty dire retail work and waitressing. I think we've all done that. Yeah, but I don't live I live in town, so I don't really go on public transport at rush hour, which is nice.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah, I
I
just
thought
walk
you lived
everywhere.
out in the. That's great.
Yeah, it's really handy.
Yeah, I lived in town for a while and I just loved it. I loved
Yeah.
being able to walk to the office and
It makes you really lazy though, because you think, oh, I can't walk there in 5 minutes. Oh, it's well far away. Like even though it's just Chorlton or something, it's not even that far.
well, it's really it's a really nice lifestyle, I think, and especially in Manchester where it's just growing and there's all this creative stuff that's happening on the doorstep. I mean, you must be in heaven.
Yeah, it's great living here.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. What about this other book that you've got coming out? So you've got one coming out this year, but you've
Yep.
got another one you're working on.
Yeah, that's right.
And how does the process work? I mean, are you obviously with this one coming out in June? It's been written for you, but have you actually written and illustrated the book for next year?
Yes. So
Wow.
This is my author illustrator debut, as they call it. And it's called Amara and the Bats. And I first drew Amara in 2016 and it'll be out in 2021. So it's been a long journey, but I'm really happy that she's finally getting to have her own book.
That's fantastic. And it sounds like, from what I've read, that it's got quite a kind of climate conscious feel about it.
Yeah, it does. Shall I tell you what the book's about?
If you're allowed to.
Yeah,
That'd be
of course.
wonderful.
It's all online. So the premise is basically Amara loves bats more than anything, and her favourite thing is to collect bat facts.
Have you got any bat facts?
I've got some. I'll tell you in a moment. But basically, they moved to a new town, her and her family, and they discover that there's no longer bats there, even though normally you can find bats anywhere in the world except for the Arctic. And she is really upset about this, but rallies her new friends, and they find a way to save the bats.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
And so now I really want to know what facts can you share?
I'm trying to think of a good one. There are 1,400 different species of bats.
Good grief.
That's a lot of bats, and they're discovering new ones all the time. There's actually 1,403, I think, at the moment, the latest count. And not all bats are the same. So there's microbats, which are the small ones that eat insects that we get in this country.
Right.
And lots of other parts of the world. And then there's megabats, otherwise known as fruit bats, which only live in tropical countries. And they are very different.
These are the
They
ones that
don't-
hang upside down and fold the wings around them, and they just look like something out of a...
Well, they all hang upside down, but yeah, these ones look like they're with the kind of teddy fox faces. That's
yeah.
the fruit bats. So they're different. They don't. Almost all of them don't echolocate to find their food.
Mm-hmm.
They have bigger eyes and get fruit basically instead of having to echolocate for insects. So it's quite two different types of bats.
Are they your favourite as well?
I don't have a favourite because there's so many, but I do particularly like the brown long-eared bat that we find in the UK, just because it has ears of the size of its body. And I got to see one recently on a bat walk when we were checking the bat boxes on a survey, and it was so cute. Yeah, they're really cute.
So whilst we're talking about climate, something else that you've done, which is pretty amazing, is this Kid Lit for Climate campaign. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, of course. So it's a campaign of 3,000 children's book illustrators and authors from over 50 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, for climate justice, basically. It started when I was seeing the youth climate strikers get a lot of press and momentum, but they were being criticised by kind of grown adults saying, go back to school, what are you talking about?
What was that all about?
There's still a large amount of climate change denial as well.
Yeah.
And it just made me furious that these young people were being belittled in the media.
It's their kind of future.
It's all of our futures. I don't know why people always say it's the children's future. I mean, I hope to be alive in... I'm only 15 years older than them. I hope I'm still alive then as well.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all of our collective future. So I started this campaign to show solidarity with their school strikes, basically, and it just grew from there.
Mm-hmm. So how does it work? There's a hashtag on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, that's right. So I put a brief out saying to illustrate a protester or take an author selfie. And within 2 weeks, I've received like 1,000.
That's incredible.
Which was amazing. And it's just grown from there. And it was originally going to be put up for the March 15th protest last year. But because there were so many, I've just kept it on. And it's just grown from there.
Must be a lot of hard work.
It was like quite overwhelming at first because I didn't expect it to like go viral. Or I thought I'd get maybe 30 people doing it.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like this massive thing. So it's just been really nice to see the comments from people saying that it gave them a way to kind of express their like fears and their feeling of helplessness. It kind of gave them a way to process that and express that, really. And obviously now things have changed so quickly and over the last year, but there's no denying now that everyone's talking about climate. Mm-hmm. But when this started, like, it wasn't like that. It was still just the children kind of striking, and
it's now on the global table, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't ignore it anymore, and that's because of these protesters and lots of other artists.
Yeah, it's changing attitudes and changing culture. Must be really proud of yourself for.
Yeah. I'm proud of everyone getting involved, really. And what was so wonderful is I met so many great, amazing people from all over the world from it.
Yeah.
Some were established illustrators that I didn't know about, and some are emerging artists, and that's what's been so wonderful, to celebrate their work and for more people to see them.
It's nice having a side project. It really does open doors, and it kind of starts a conversation with people that you might not have otherwise been able to chat to.
Yeah, absolutely. And what made me really happy is that more of the actual illustrators and authors have joined in the protests as well.
Yeah.
In person, and they made kind of illustrated signs, and that was really positive to see that adults are joining in these global protests.
Absolutely. Okay, so we'll move on from that. So freelancing, you've been doing it for quite some time. I think for like 9 years, you were saying?
Yeah, 9 years.
Gosh, that's amazing. When's the 10th anniversary? What are you going to do to celebrate?
Oh, I don't know. Have a sleep. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. Maybe I should do something though. That would be fun.
You should mark it, because I think we just get on with it, don't we? And we never really sort of pat ourselves on the back when we should.
Well, I think weirdly, my book that I've illustrated and written will actually come out on the anniversary of my 10th. So that's really fun. So it'll be like 10 years freelancing and my book comes out. I've just realised that now. That's great.
Is that next year, 2021?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. You'll have to have a big launch party in Manchester.
I'll definitely do that, yeah.
And in London and everywhere, all over the world.
All the independent bookshops that will take me, please contact me for events.
Oh my goodness. Are you going to be doing any kind of like book signings and things like that?
Oh, absolutely. I plan to do a book launch in Manchester and then an indie bookshop tour around the country and to a lot of back conferences and things like that.
That's a dream come true.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. I mean, this summer I'm going to do a small tour for my illustrated book, but it'll be even bigger for my next one, I think.
Oh, I'm really pleased for you. So
Thanks.
Looking back on the 10 years, I mean, what would you say have been some sort of like big lessons that you've learned about working for yourself? I mean, positive and negative?
It's definitely been a roller coaster, I'm not going to lie. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, but also the most rewarding thing I've ever done, which I'm sure a lot of people will share that sentiment. I think when I left uni and didn't immediately kind of become this full-time illustrator, I felt a lot of shame because I had to have a part-time job, even though that's completely normal. But now when I go into unis, and I taught at Stockport College for a while as a lecturer, and I always tell them there's no shame in making a steady income, and there's no shame in hustling and being financially sensible with having a part-time job. And just because you're not full-time doesn't mean you're not a real artist. And I think that would have saved me a hell of a lot of heartache and shame and feeling like I'd failed, because you're not a failure doing that. I mean, book work is the way it is, so that I might have to have a part-time job again in the future, and I don't feel bad about that or ashamed, because you know, you've got to pay your bills, and if you need some steady money, great. I think also it can get you out of the house.
Yeah.
give you some people to be around.
Yeah, exactly. Be around other people, which is always nice.
Exactly. And leading on from that, I think the other main thing I learned was that I don't work well from home by myself. I definitely need a shared studio. That improves my mental health massively, gives me some accountability for people being in there, and that just works for me. So I think if you're finding yourself slipping into a depression basically from being at home alone, obviously go see your doctor, and also maybe consider sharing with other people.
Yeah, because I think when we're in a space on our own, it's you can just get too much inside your own head. You've got no one to bounce ideas off. It can be very isolating and lonely.
Yeah, and I've definitely had a few years after uni where I had terrible depression and terrible anxiety, and it was just a really scary time. Like, you leave education that you've been in since you were 5 in this bubble, and you've always had the next step laid out for you. And then you go out and it's just this wide open plain and you're like, what the hell do I do now? It was completely
terrifying.
Baffling. Yeah, and I think because I was such a child of the school system and I was good at essentially following rules, I did really struggle when it was all up to me. And it was kind of like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, I don't know, I need someone to tell me.
But going and doing that and working for yourself, because you're saying it was pretty much straight out of university.
Yeah, I did it almost straight away.
That is, it's not easy. I mean,
no, it wasn't.
No.
And I'd actually recommend not doing that. And I'd recommend trying to get some work experience somewhere and learn on their dime, as they say, and then go freelance.
Yeah, learn how the business world works.
Yeah, learn from other people. Don't feel like, oh no, I need to be freelance right away. I mean, some people do, and that's fantastic. And I commend them for their business sense and ability to get clients so soon.
Yeah, some don't have a choice, I guess.
No, I don't. They don't. Yeah. And that's great for some people. But I would say even if you have a chance to go into a studio, or definitely speak to other established illustrators and just get some knowledge from them about how the industry is, because depending on what uni you go to, you may or may not be prepared for the real world in the industry. So you really need to just make sure that you're ready to dive in, because if you leave uni, most people don't have any clients under their belt. They don't have repeat clients yet. Some do, and that's great. But just be prepared for the long haul, basically, because it's a long journey.
It is.
And to develop your practice and build up your clients.
And it's something we're not, like you say, you might be prepared at some universities, depending where you go, but a lot of the time it's just figuring these things out yourself as you go along.
It is. I think even if they prepare you as much as they possibly can, it's still sometimes a bit of a shock when you think, oh, it's really, this is really hard, but it can be done. And it's the main thing the main thing for success is literally perseverance, not giving up, no matter what, basically.
Yeah, it's the hard truth, isn't it? Yeah. When people ask me, how did you do it? It's there's one part of you that wants to be honest, but there's the other part where you don't want to sort of, terrify them and put them off. But and I suppose it's different for everyone as well, because it was really hard for me, and I did work very hard and very long hours, and you don't want to say that to somebody else, because you don't want to sort of be that person that says, well, be prepared to work very, very hard and give up weekends and evenings at first, because I'm sorry, it's not a walk in the park.
I think you're right. And I think it's almost you say that because you don't want them to suffer and you want them to not have something unexpected, but they have to go through that themselves to realise, I think.
It's like you can give as many tips articles on Creative Boom in the world, but actually the real learning happens when you dive headfirst and get on with it, because it's going to be completely different for everyone.
Yeah, everyone's had a different life, everyone has a different experience and different privilege, and I think some nuggets of advice can completely change someone's life, and I will kind of try to impart those nuggets that help me to someone else, but they won't have the same impact because they haven't had the same experiences that I've had. So you have to kind of, if they don't react like, wow, that changed my life, it's because it'll be something else that you've said that you didn't realise made an impact on their life that will make a difference. Probably the thing that you said casually, but they'll go away and think about that. And I've had students tell me that something I said really made a difference, and I was like, oh, I wasn't even, that wasn't even like something I meant to kind of.
But it can be it can be such a small nudge.
Yeah, but it makes them go, oh, I didn't think of it that way, or
Well, you're a very caring person. I know. I'll say I know you personally, but you're a very caring person, and I know that you have a lot of empathy for other people, and that comes across a lot in your work. How does it feel when you know that you're helping the younger generation? And
I hope I am. I mean, I'm always.
Oh, you are, absolutely.
I mean, I'm always trying to do more, and I always feel like I could be doing more. Especially with activism, you always feel like you could be doing more, but you also have to look after yourself and make sure that you're looking after yourself so that you can continue doing these things. But knowing that I could be making a difference with my books would mean the world to me. Because that's what it's all about, and you have to use whatever platform you have to make a difference and share kindness and share empathy, and hopefully that will resonate with people and they won't feel so alone. Yeah,
it's amazing how, when you think about it, a children's book has a lot of power to change the world, really.
It does. I mean, if children are reading these messages, especially Amara, it's very about it's about kindness, it's about belonging, it's about finding a home. It's about creeping urbanization and climate anxiety. It's about lots of things. But at the end of the day, it's just mainly a message of hope. And I hope.
Yeah, it's that word, isn't it?
Yeah,
we hope.
It's important because you can't make a children's book completely about doom and gloom, because that's just going to leave the child even more scared than they already are about the looming crisis. And I think you need to show that there is still time and there is hope. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and is that something you feel like you're really clinging on to as well? Because the last couple of years
have felt...
Well, the last couple of years have been just a bit dark, haven't they?
Just a tad.
Just a touch.
I won't go into the obvious things that is making things so awful and tumultuous in this country, and the rising hate crime, etc. But we all know what that word is, and we need to do everything we can to tackle that. Everything.
How are you feeling personally now then? You said you touched on before that you came out of university and struggled and had these moments. Mental health is something that we're all talking about a lot more, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because
things have really changed in the last 10 years for that.
Absolutely. I mean, where did the change come from?
For example, when I was in third year, I definitely had crippling anxiety, but that wasn't even a word on doctors' lips then.
No.
It was kind of, you're stressed. You're just a stressy person. Here's a beta blocker to slow your heart rate because you're so stressed.
Really? Good grief.
But now it's called anxiety, and that's definitely what I had. I think it's changed massively for the better. Like, I was ashamed to even say I had depression even probably 6 years ago, because I thought people would look at me differently. I thought I wouldn't get hired. But now it's on everyone's lips, like the climate crisis is on everyone's lips. And I think that's come from people advocating for it. The charities like mine doing amazing work.
Yeah. There's the lovely creative here in Manchester, Jordan Yates, who's doing these design recovery talks, which are amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it's just people basically being brave enough to come out and say, I've had this. And then everyone goes, oh my God, me too. And that's how it...
That's how it spirals.
It spirals and it becomes this big ball of like everyone going, this has happened to me, this has affected me. And
we're all normal.
Yeah.
Who knew?
There is no normal, basically. And I think that's what's so brilliant, is that people are accepting when they have a bad day, and they're hopefully seeking more help. I mean, the biggest thing is young men. It's the biggest killer of young men under 40 is suicide, and that's something that really needs to talk about. But there's been lots of good campaigns to get men to open up more and go see their GP and go seek help. And I think that's really important.
And it's happening, and you can see it happening. I wrote an article about an experience I'd been through in the last couple of years. I lost all my confidence. It just sort of disappeared, which completely took me by surprise. I mean, there was various things happening personally that kind of sparked it, but it had been coming for a while, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's as you get older as well, you just become more frightened of things going wrong. You're probably older and wiser enough to know what could go wrong, and so you fear it more. Whereas
Yeah, I think so.
when you're younger, you kind of just think, yeah, I'm going to do that, and you don't overthink it. Or at least I didn't. I mean, there are plenty of young people out there who feel that way. I appreciate. We're all unique.
That's interesting, because I read something where something actually changes in our brain after our early 20s, where our risk assessment gets more intense. I'm probably phrasing that terribly and paraphrasing it terribly, but
that's why I've given up snowboarding.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I think that's why we always need new blood in creative industries, because I think as you get older and wiser and more experienced, you know what can go wrong, like you say. So you might be not as willing to take risks and try something new, because you think, oh well, that's going to cost this much. But when you're young and naive, which is a wonderful thing, you think, well, why don't we try like this? And you go, okay, let's give it a shot. And usually it works, because you're going in with it without any expectations and any kind of
You've never
bitterness.
Done it before, I guess. Oh yeah, bitterness.
There's no
bitterness.
A word. Yeah, because you're just saying if it'll work, and often it does, and that's why we always need new people in the industry to shake things up a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
when I say young, I don't always mean age. I mean people who are new to that industry and might come with a fresh insight, because I definitely think emerging artists shouldn't all have to be under 30 either. A lot of people start when they're older and have to do it after children.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Things like that.
Absolutely. It is a good point. There are lots of people who change careers. People who have always wanted to be creative but never really could take the leap for whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's important to include them as well, because we live in a very ageist society.
Yes, I love this. We're talking about so many really, important things, and and I'm happy to say my confidence is coming back.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. One of the things that I did to kind of recover was I stopped drinking for 9 months.
That's amazing. Well done.
And started up again because, well, I was in California and the rest is history. But yeah, I felt like I needed some time off and just to sort of really get some good sleep. It sounds like I was an alcoholic. I wasn't.
No, but I think
just a normal British person.
We drink a lot in this country.
We do drink a lot. When I go over to California, I realise how much I used to drink and how much my friends do drink.
I think it's just normalised in this country. I mean,
it is.
Alcohol doesn't agree with me, so I don't drink much. But just coming from the point of view of someone who doesn't drink, it's sometimes people will say, why aren't you drinking? And it's like, you shouldn't ask that question, because they might be pregnant, they might have depression, they might have a parent who's an alcoholic or a partner who's an alcoholic. Just don't ask that question.
Well, it's kind of probably highlighting their own kind of bad habit.
It is, but they're like, why can't you have fun? And it's like, you don't need alcohol to have fun.
Oh my goodness, you do not.
Just stop judging people.
Yeah, exactly. Just leave them alone.
Leave them alone.
So do you find yourself getting kind of things that look like mocktails?
I don't. It doesn't happen as much anymore.
Cocktails.
Like now I'm older,
you just
31
don't care.
By the way. I don't care. I've never cared. But also people don't question it as much when you're older, because they've probably realised, I don't need to drink as much. But
also, I think that's another thing that's changed.
Yeah,
definitely. I think non-drinking is kind of less taboo than it was, which is bizarre. In America, it's just like, it's no big deal if you don't drink.
Yeah.
Well, maybe in LA, not necessarily in New York. I don't know. I'm probably generalising, but
it helped you feel better then.
Yeah. Oh God, it felt me. Yes. Sorry, that's what we were talking about. It loads better. But I was doing other things. I was getting back into exercise. I was talking a lot, which was really helpful. And then I thought to myself, right, at the end of 2019, I'm going to finally do this podcast. And I kind of put aside all those questions in my head that were like, you're too late. You should have done this 4 years ago. Not necessarily questions, just these kind of things that you tell yourself. You're too late. You should have done your podcast 4 years ago. You're too old. All these kind of stupid things that you tell yourself when you're going through a bit of a sort of confidence crisis. And I thought, do you know what? Sod it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to get on with it, because I used to work in radio and it's something I'm really passionate about. And I really love talking to people and finding out what makes them tick. And every single one that I've done, it's been just amazing, just talking to other people. And one of the most surprising things about this is just how honest people are being and opening up about things that I just didn't expect them to talk about, and yeah, it's just fantastic.
Well, I'm really glad you did it. And I think you're never too old to try something.
Yeah, so if you're listening out there and you're listening to this podcast and you've been thinking about doing a podcast or becoming an illustrator or, you just got to go for it. I mean, don't throw away the job.
No, don't do that too soon. Trust me.
Yeah, you've got to take baby steps. I mean, for me, I like to sort of give myself a goal every year and give myself 3 manageable steps to get to that goal. And it could be the simplest of goals. It could be like, make sure I go on my bike 3 times a week. And how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to put my kit out the night before and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And it works. I mean, do you have any kind of techniques like that?
Yeah, I found one that does work is I'm quite a lover of lists, and I really like the Notes app on my phone. And the night before I'll write Monday, and then I'll have all these lists, and the top 5 are always quite easy to tick off, but it means after about 20 minutes or 15 minutes I've already ticked off like 5. So one of them is just get up, because I find that quite difficult. 1 is open the blind. 3 is make the smoothie I mentioned before.
With the peanut butter.
With the peanut butter and banana and oat milk. And then I'll do my burpees and weights that I've started trying to do. Then I'll have a shower and get dressed. And by then I'm like, right, I'm ready to go. And I've ticked off 6 things. And then the next one's like, go to the studio.
You feel epic, don't you?
I'm like,
because
I've done
you've ticked
stuff.
them off.
Yeah. And it's like, it might be really sad. I don't care. I like a sticker chart. I like getting a medal for doing runs. I need a shiny thing. But you know what? That works for me.
I've got a sticker in my bag I'm going to give you just specifically after this.
That's fine.
A little star. Maybe I'll put on 2.
I've been a good student.
But that probably comes from your love of having that kind of structure from school.
I like goals and structure, and I like praise and knowing I've done well, even if it's self-praise, because I'm like, yeah, I did good, hooray. And it's like, but you have to congratulate yourself, because these projects, like I do, take so long. You have to celebrate each milestone, because otherwise you'll wait 2 years to celebrate anything. So you have to kind of be kind to yourself, which I've learned over the years, because I was much harder on myself years ago.
Well, I think that's just our 20s, isn't it? And
yeah, 20s are hard, man.
They are.
Very tumultuous. And you're expected to be crazy, go have sex with loads of crazy people. You're expected to be a hedonist and have fun. And then suddenly you're supposed to have met the love of your life and get married and have kids all in 10 years. And I'm like, where do people do this? How do they have the time?
Especially women.
That's such little luck. Yeah. So especially with women, especially the pressure to have children and all that sort of
Did you have a bit of a kind of what do they don't call it a midlife crisis?
Quarter life crisis.
Quarter life crisis.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. It was more feeling like I had to achieve everything in my 20s, like some kind of prodigy, and that's so stupid, because
I shouldn't be laughing, but you have got a cheeky smile on your face as you say this.
Yeah, I mean, it's so silly, but I think a lot of people feel like that, and I've spoken to fellow artists who do feel that pressure.
Well, there's a lot of kind of stuff on Instagram, all these online magazines.
19-year-old blah blah who already works at DreamWorks, and I'm like, yeah, good for you, but that just makes me feel like crap. I don't know, it makes a lot of other people feel like crap. And I'm like, that's amazing they've done that so young. But I know it really makes other people feel like, oh, I haven't done it soon enough. And that's so silly, because it's not a race and you just have to do your best. And it doesn't have to be in your 20s or even your 30s. You can still do this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like me before saying, I'm 41, so I'm a whole 10 years older than you. Gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but 10 years is nothing.
It's nothing. And, well, my 30s were not as sort of over the top as my 20s. It's definitely settling into who I am and what I want to do with my life. And I always kind of used to sort of chuckle at my mum saying, you just wait. My mum, I've got a mum voice. You just wait until you get into your 40s and you'll love it, because you settle down and you're very confident and you don't give a stuff what anyone thinks. And I was looking forward to this. I was expecting to wake up on my 40th birthday and open my eyes and go, I don't care anymore. But that didn't happen. I ended up having a midlife crisis and all the rest of it. Such a cliche. But yeah, I mean, she's right. I mean, I've kind of got over that confidence crisis, and I've started my podcast, and I've got into my decent routine, and I'm going on my bike, and I'm drinking a lot less.
Hooray.
And the kind of not caring is starting to kick in, which is I kind of sometimes catch myself and go, I don't actually care if nobody listens to this podcast. And then you start having all these other like really lovely revelations. Like, if I don't put anything on Instagram, the world is not going to end.
Isn't it lovely not caring so much?
Oh, it's just great. And then you start to, all this kind of space opens up, doesn't it? And all these other things rush in, like learning to play the piano or going camping or, you know, all these other things that normal, non-weird people, you know, who aren't like me, do because they remember to live and not constantly be creating and working. And
I think you always like other yourself like you're some like crazy weirdo, but
well, I am.
I don't think so. I mean,
and I mean that as a compliment. I love that I'm a bit bonkers. And that's the other thing as well. I'm kind of, I don't know, as a woman, we're told so many things when we grow up. There are so many expectations on us, as you mentioned previously. When you get to 30, you should be married by then. You should have had your kids and you should have achieved this. I'm like, whoa.
I know, you watch Bridget Jones and you're just thinking, she's so lucky to be able to afford to live alone. That's all I
know. How did you get that flat?
I don't know.
Different times.
But yeah, it's very different times and things are just different for... I mean, I can't speak for your generation, but for myself as a millennial who are constantly vilified, you know, like we don't have...
Snowflakes.
Snowflakes.
What's that all about?
I don't know.
You're terrible. You don't do any work and you don't, you're just kind of rubbish. And
I think the fact that we've survived is like a testament to our generation because most of us graduated in the recession. There was no jobs. I couldn't even get a job. Like 100 people applying for every kind of rubbish job. Couldn't get one for like 3 months. Couldn't get benefits. It was just awful. And the fact that we've all survived and that a lot of us are now thriving, I think is testament to our unwillingness to admit defeat. And I think we're just like, we're not going to give up. We're going to do this. And
every generation has its challenge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Challenges.
Definitely.
But I do feel like millennials have had it the toughest. And
it's not great. It's really hard to describe because I'm not complaining saying it's the worst thing ever because I don't know what other generations have been through, but it is really, really hard.
Compared to our parents,
that I might never own a house. Compared to like
we haven't gone through
parents.
any wars.
No, we haven't gone not in this country, but
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Compared to it, you know, thinking of it from our grandparents' point of view.
Yeah, I mean, everyone always thinks their parents had it easier, but I do generally think that a lot of the opportunities have been stripped from our generation that our parents had.
Yeah.
Anyway, I won't complain.
Just going back to what I was saying before, I mean, it's the confidence is back. It's the not caring and it's realising that I'm bonkers and that's marvellous. Because as women, we're given certain... We are told to be a certain way. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can find yourself blending in, can't you? Just to sort of, sit on the fence and not, hurt anyone's feelings and not kind of get in the way and just go about your way in life really gently. And then you find I find that I've kind of, given myself this persona because I work in PR as well. So you kind of have to be really careful about how you present yourself. And doing this podcast is kind of, and, turning 40 and having a midlife crisis and all this, it's kind of made me realise that actually, what am I doing? Just be yourself. It's fine. Just show the world how crazy you are.
Do you feel like some of your walls have been broken down through doing this podcast?
A little bit, yeah. It's been a combination of things. I think the podcast hasn't been the reason why all that's happened. I think...
It wasn't the catalyst.
Yeah, it was, definitely. There's been quite a few different things that have happened. I used to think, gosh, isn't it a shame that I'm getting older and I'm running out of time and I want to do all these amazing things. And now I'm like, I get out of bed and I'm like, oh my God, I'm only 41. It's like that Shirley Valentine moment where you're sort of like, for God's sake, you're fabulous. Just go out there and enjoy your life. And it's lovely. And so we reach these little milestones, but we don't want to define them as milestones.
No.
Because every day is a learning curve and we have all these little wins that might not be massive wins, but to us, ticking off that list and, just celebrating the fact that we got out of bed and got in the shower and got dressed.
Just that you're carrying on and that you're surviving in this industry is a win, honestly.
Yeah. So what do you think your next sort of 10 years of working for yourself is going to bring?
I can't think that far ahead. I change develop every year, and that's not going to change. I don't think you get to a certain point and think, right, this is me forever now. I have no idea what I'll be in 10 years. And I quite like not knowing. I don't know if I'll be an illustrator forever or a writer forever. But some things I'd like to do is spend more time outdoors. I'd like to build a tiny house one day and live in it, or a tiny tall house, because my boyfriend's 6'6", so it'd have to be very tall and probably not fit under any bridges to trail behind us. But
and will this house be in the countryside?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know where I want to settle, and I don't know where I want to be. So I'm just kind of letting things happen and being open to what happens. And I think it's nice that I can accept that now and not have to know. And I'm quite excited to let that happen.
Fantastic. Well, Thank you so much for your time. It's been lovely finding out more about your creative life. And maybe we'll have another chat in 10 years' time and see where you're up to.
Yeah, or hopefully before then.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You've been listening to the Creative Boom podcast with your host, Katie Cowan. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. Go to creativeboom.com/podcast to find out more, or follow us on Twitter @CreativeBoom.